What is the mainstream media's biggest wet dream fantasy going into the 2024 presidential election cycle? Mike Pence running to be the Republican nominee against Donald Trump. Can we just cut right to the chase? That albino doesn't stand a chance. Several mainstream media outlets are reporting that Mike Pence is mounting what looks to be a 2024 presidential run. He's out there, he's making speeches. They sound like campaign speeches, but according to Vanity Fair, he's cashing in. He's never made this kind of money in his life. He is out there on the campaign trail. He's been going to places like Iowa. Now, is that really about his own presidential run, or is it about just cashing in? Newsweek magazine recently ran an article where they interviewed a former staff member of Vice President Pence, Alyssa Farah, who served as his press secretary from 2017 to 2019. And she said, oh yeah, he's going to run, and he will mount a, quote, formidable fight against his boss, Donald Trump, that he is, quote, ashamed of what happened on January the 6th. Let me just say this right here. Mike Pence doesn't stand a chance for many reasons. Number one, he is never going to get any support from the Trump base. That's just not going to happen. I told you 2 years before the last election, he was the traitor within. Many of you excoriated me for referring to the vice president as that. Some of you were even like, but Pastor Marty, he's a Christian. You're a Christian. How can you say this about him? And I have been proven to be 100% correct. Traitor to the end. He was the quiet, backstabbing Judas within the Trump administration. You want to know really where those leaks came from? You want to really know where the hesitation and the lack of coalition and support from the GOP, why that never happened? Trump was the outsider. Mike Pence was supposed to be there to bridge that gap, and it never happened. Why? Because quite frankly, Pence wasn't there to really help Donald Trump. Pence was there by the controlled opposition to make sure that Trump never really gained any steam within his own White House. Period. He can look like Race Bannon from Johnny Quest, but Mike Pence with his aw shucks kind of delivery, and he wants you to think what a wonderful evangelical believer he is really your typical swamp-dwelling rat. You know the word I want to use here, and I can't. Starts with a B, ends with turd. He is in it up to his eyeballs on the plandemic. I've told you this before. He and Anthony Fauci, friends before the Trump administration. It was Mike Pence who had a so-called pandemic outbreak in Indiana while he was governor, where he set the model and created the way that you usurp constitutional freedom over your citizens, all in the name of an emergency. And because he supposedly had this experience with handling a pandemic, Donald Trump unwittingly put him in charge, thinking, well, we got this coronavirus. Mike Pence has dealt with stuff like this before, and Shazam Batman. Who does Mike Pence pick? Anthony Fauci. Why? Because he and Tony Fauci for the previous decade had been crisscrossing the world together along with Bill Gates, giving speeches and lectures around the world about the need for, quote, mass inoculation. There was a reason Anthony Fauci boldly and confidently said that the incoming Trump administration would deal with a, quote, surprise outbreak. Because again, he's in it up to his eyeballs, and what happened with the Wuhan lab leak, gain of function research, which he paid for, He knew full well what was going on. And when coronavirus first began, those emails that went back and forth, he knew exactly right from jump what we were dealing with. But because he contradicted Donald Trump initially and how to handle coronavirus, the media made him a rock star. And that really went to his head. He loves the fawning attention because now he's telling you, hey, if you are fully vaccinated and all your family's fully vaccinated, you can go ahead and take your masks off and enjoy Thanksgiving. Newsflash, Tony, we're going to do that anyway. Newsflash, Tony, the real science says it's not about vaccination, it's about immunity. Now he's talking about a second booster. That would be 4 shots. As soon as I'm done making this video, I'm going to go see if I can't find my 7th or 8th polio shot. And this has all been unleashed on us thanks to former Vice President Mike Pence. Mike Pence in the pocket of Big Pharma. Mike Pence, a globalist. Mike Pence, part of the deep state swamp. Now, what kind of coalition could Mike Pence actually put together that he thinks would get him the Republican nomination? Trump supporters are not going to jump ship and go to Mike Pence. And people who did not support Trump, the never Trumpers, they aren't going to support Pence either because they're going to see him as, well, you work for the guy. He's as politically useless now as a John Kasich. Your political life is over. Make your speeches, make your money. If there are people really that desperate for entertainment that they're willing to shuck out money to hear you speak, well, so be it. You know, there are a lot of stupid people on this planet. But Mike Pence, the albino from Indiana, does not stand a chance of going up head-to-head against Donald Trump. And if President Trump decides not to throw his hat in the ring for 2024, then it's going to be Governor DeSantis from Florida. You can take that to the bank. Hey, that's it for this rant. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you come to my Rumble channel. The link is below. Come to Rumble. Please sign up for that channel. I need to get my subscriptions up. It doesn't cost anything. I hate using that word subscription because it sounds like you've got to pay money. You don't. It's free. But I need to get my subscriptions up. I need to get my views up there. Please help me build my Rumble channel.